Hello and welcome to your weekly horoscope forecast for week commencing the 2nd of May. As this week begins, Venus, the planet of grace, of charm, of aesthetics, of fashion, but also of relating and of course of money, moves into the first zodiac sign of Aries. If you have been going through some soul searching around a relationship issue recently, this could bring you more into the present, especially if there has been, unfortunately, a separation in your situation. But Venus also moves into an immediate, sparkling alliance with Mercury in one of its two home zones of Gemini. Now this can lead to some flirtatious text winging around. It could also bring a greater sense of enthusiasm to the social scene. Of course, the Sun does continue alongside Uranus in Taurus, which is very much to do with our resources. But Uranus is asking us through the Sun to be as open-minded as possible, to not hold on to things that no longer serve our greater purpose. And in some ways that might be some of the things we've taken for granted a little bit because the cost of living has gone up so much. We might find actually that some of the things we thought were so essential we can let go, and because the two of them are forging such a very powerful and energizing link to the planet of drive, Mars, we can dig deep from within ourselves to find ways in which we can reorder things. Some of that sparkle that Venus and Mercury are going to bring, despite the fact that Venus is technically in its detriment in Aries, could be enjoying the interaction, the personal interaction, and that doesn't really cost anything at all. Now also, there is by Sunday a quarter moon in the sign of Leo. This sees the Sun in the 2nd, the Moon in the 5th, which just cautions us not to be too free and easy with our resources. But also, if there is somebody that we're rather fond of, perhaps they've become rather too used to us indulging them. And this could be a good moment to actually just reinforce our boundaries somewhat. But Jupiter, the planet of fortune, is forging a very powerful alliance to Pluto, the planet of transformation, that goes on all through this week. People who have this in their natal horoscopes are often very lucky and often make quite good progress in life in a material context. But of course, Jupiter in the sign of Pisces can be more of a spiritual dimension, but something can change or evolve in a way which pleases us through that particular influence. Also, Saturn in Aquarius is forging a semi-sextile to Neptune. Some of the things that we might think are very important to our structure of our lives, we might be able to let go of some of those with Neptune's help. But of course Neptune can erode structures in a less positive way, but I don't think that will be the case. I think again we can realise that some of the things that we think or thought were so important are not quite as important as they actually seem to be in the past. Now, if you would like to ascend above this Zodiac broadcast, if you give me 3 pieces of personal information, I can give you a roadmap that can guide the rest of your life. A natal analysis is so incredibly insightful, but also with this, with my special offer, you can also get a 12-month forecast, and the two working together, and I give you 30% off, can really be so very meaningful in terms of tapping your potential, avoiding pitfalls, and making the right moves at the right time. Please see the link below this video for more. Finally, if you are new to my channel, before I give you your Zodiac forecast, if you would be so good to subscribe, I'd be really grateful. I'm racing towards 100,000 subs. It's taken a bit longer than it should have done because of all my health issues, but your support is greatly appreciated. Hello Capricorn, and welcome to a weekly horoscope for week commencing the 2nd of May. Now, this continues to be a time of real sparkle, potentially, for your self-expression, your ideas, your creativity and flair. But it could also be pushing you to, in some ways, challenge the status quo. You can be very hardworking, very committed, and Uranus being aligned with the Sun this week and linking to Mars in your sector of everyday communication is asking you not to let your passion be pulverized by your sense of duty. You know, you've got talents. This is an ideal time to showcase them. But of course, in order to do that, it means, in some ways, being a little bit more daring. Your nature is inherently towards caution, but your sense of humour and fun is often really wonderful. So see the opportunities that are coming up now as a chance to really push outside your comfort zone and dazzle people with the array of talents that you have. Also, Jupiter in your sector of everyday communication can make you quite lucky in some ways around your ideas. And that link to Pluto in your sign means the things you really are invested in. Pluto in the first house, how you've evolved since 2008 when Pluto entered your sign. Of course, initially for some Capricorns, it would, or for most, it would have been in the 12th house. It's only if your birthday's right at the start, you know, where the winter solstice occurs, and that's your birthday, 21st, you're the person or the people who were immediately impacted by Pluto in 2008, and you may have seen big changes then. For others, it's needed to move forwards and come out of your 12th house and come onto your Sun. And that will have happened for most Capricorns apart from the last 2 or 3 days of the sign. And you're the people that may be now feeling that something's in the work, something's changing. But for most Capricorns, something has fundamentally transformed. And it's all about stating and being in touch with your need to be an individual, not just fit in to the structure of the world in the way that you were perhaps led to believe was necessary when you were younger. Now, of course, Venus moves at the start of this week into the sign of Aries. If there is a home renovation project that you'd like to get stuck into, the next 28 days can see you really busy. Could be getting fabric swatches, if you want some new soft furnishings. It could be decorative in terms of the actual colour scheme. It may be that you want to do something more structural because Mercury's linking so well with Venus this week, and Venus can be about money and Mercury about transactions, perhaps something to do with a home-based business, perhaps if it's something that offers services to people in their homes. You know, for example, if you're a travelling hairdresser or you're a painter and decorator, those skills can serve you well. Whatever you decide to do at this time, it's about what you enjoy. That's what's important. And if you can match that with what people need, then you could have a really super business. But whether it's in terms of a business opportunity or whether it's in terms of your outside work interests or even your children, this can be an exciting time, but you probably do need to be open to changing things up somewhat. Now, by the end of this week, there is a quarter moon in your 8th house, squaring with the Sun in the 5th. If there is kind of any jealousy or restriction around your individuality, whether it's from a friend, whether it's from someone in your family hierarchy, whether it's even from a partner, it's something you could push back against towards the end of this week and all of next week, week commencing the 9th. But having said that, it may also be the case that you're drawn strongly to someone with the 8th house energy, which can be about deep passion, and the 5th house. So maybe there's someone who's going to emerge on your celestial landscape as this week draws to a close, who really does intrigue you in some rather intense way.